What is up, guys? It is the Redstone Scientist here, and I am here with episode 7 of Saved YouTube's Gems, bringing you the best Minecraft content the web has to offer. In May 2014, I started compiling a list of epic proportions with the most interesting, original, or any other quality I can list that I felt put it among the most valuable technical Minecraft videos on the entire internet. I still keep adding to this list every day, and it essentially contains what I consider to be the internet's greatest technical Minecraft videos ever made. You can find out more about the playlist as well as this series in episode 0, which I will link to on screen and in the description. As always, all opinions expressed today are just that, opinions, and I would love to hear yours in the comments. So for today's episode, we're going to be looking at the best videos from playlist entries 121 to 140. Remember that some of these gems I ended up including for the opportunity to teach you guys what makes a good video. We also have an honorable mention today, Wubby Concepts' detailed look at CBP. Now, CBP stands for Command Block Programming Language, and is a creation that Wubby has made that allows you to code command blocks in bulk extremely easily. It essentially turns command blocks into their own external traditional programming language, which you can then export back into Minecraft. This is the accompanying detailed syntax video. Make sure to go check it out for yourself, because it's really quite useful. By the way, the first of Avondale's 4-part series on the Redstone API for the Noxcrew Gameshow is in this week's bunch as well. That's something that we discussed last time, so definitely check that out. Another little note, I was going to feature Wubby's Easy Clone interface as one of the gems today, but he's released an improved version for 1.9 since then, so I thought I'd wait for that video to come up in the saved folder. So in no particular order, here are my picks for the best of the best. First off, we have a video by the one and only Seth. In this video, he shows us a camera in vanilla Minecraft that can actually take pictures based on the perspective of the camera. Let's take a look.
Welcome back, Sethbling here. What a lovely village. I'd love to take a picture of it. Luckily, I've got this camera right here, supported by all these command blocks over here. And if I give the camera a whack, we'll start to see a picture show up. Now, if I go to game mode 3, spectator mode, we can see what's going on. This is called ray tracing. And you see whenever an armor stand, which is emanating from the camera, hits a block, it sort of disappears and copies that block up onto the canvas. And so since all of the armor stands are emanating from this one armor stand here, we sort of get a perspective from this armor stand's point of view. And notice the well is about as big as the camera, or sorry, about as big as the house in the picture, even though obviously they're very different sizes. But that's because this one's a lot closer. And we've got
all right, so excellent demonstration. Gets right to the point. And it's a very unique concept.
Yeah, so
I mean, there's not much else to really say about this video other than its originality and conciseness. The camera makes things that are closer bigger and things that are farther away smaller. I mean, it really is an incredible idea for a Minecraft project. In practice, the photos don't look that great, but in theory, it works very well, you know, for being in Minecraft. He talks about this phenomenon of ray tracing, or ray casting, something that in the last few years or so has become quite the hot topic among command blockers. Now, there are many different methods to do it, but very few can get reliable and accurate results. Using some trigonometric magic, Sethbling is actually able to create this effect with some pretty good accuracy. But unfortunately, his method does rely on absolute coordinates, which makes it instance-specific. We are going to see a lot of stuff about raycasting in today's episode. Next up, we have a video from Wubby Concepts, who is in this week's nominees a lot, merely because I happen to be going through his videos that day. In this video, Wubby shows us his concepts for raycasting in Minecraft, and some of the possible applications of it. So let's take a look.
Hello again! Over the last few days, I've managed to create this little setup of command blocks. Its purpose? Track my orientation, calculate a vector based on that, and perform raycasts. And to show you how useful these informations can be, let me give you a few examples. The first example, also the easiest one to set up with just a few additional command blocks. With this, I can draw nice little pictures. So let's try this one. If I move too fast in here, sadly...
So, as I've mentioned before, raycasting, or ray tracing, has created quite the discussion amongst command blockers in the last few years. People are always trying to come up with simpler and more effective and more accurate techniques for it, myself included. But for those of you who aren't really familiar with this concept, this video is a great place to start. Wubby explains what's so fantastic about raycasting and shows some brilliant examples of its use.
Now, first of all, a big shout out to Tosha, because he's the guy. By the way, I've linked him in the description below. I hope I can link him in the picture here as well. Not sure.
By the way, this shout out he's giving here to Tasha, while his program is great, about a year later, Wubby released a similar program called CBP, which was actually the honorable mention today. And Wubby's program is now much more widely used. Tasha also has a very nice video on raycasting as well, as Wubby mentions. But in addition to being a great introduction to the concept of raycasting, we're back to this video now, his particular method of doing it is really quite brilliant. If you want the full explanation, obviously you can watch the video. While it is a rather command block heavy way of doing it, it is quite versatile and, in my opinion, one of the best systems to date. It has 3 digits of accuracy, meaning it's accurate up to 0.001 degrees. In addition, it's capable of 3-dimensional raycasting, which is something many systems can't do. But by using 3-dimensional vectors, he's able to detect both the pitch and the yaw of the player, whereas some other systems only allow you to raycast across a single plane.
I still don't see the value.
By the way, a tip to video creators, always make sure your notifications and Skype sounds are turned off when recording. Ugh. Anyway, while the video can be a bit slow sometimes, it still gets the information across. And honestly, this remains one of the more impressive and useful command block systems I've ever seen. Great work. For our next gem, a wild IJA Minecraft appears, once again in this video showcasing a command he wrote that implements some pretty interesting and polished parkour mechanics that you can build with. Let's take a look. Alright, so we've got IJA's standard style of video, and I guess there's nothing wrong with that. The mechanics of this creation aren't that brilliant or complicated, but together they create a really nice package for map makers. In fact, IJA ended up releasing a map called Scary Blocks that's for 1.8.9, I believe, that uses some of these very mechanics. Now, the reason this video has been saved is because of how well the individual pieces fit together. He's got all these different mechanics that all function extremely well on their own, and bug-free, by the way. And they actually belong together. It doesn't seem randomly created, it was very deliberate. Which seems like a no-brainer, but a lot of creations don't have this quality. And I also have to say, the efficacy of these mechanics is quite impressive. Not to mention, they're very easy to build with. The next gem today is by, surprise, surprise, the Red Engineer. In this video, Red takes a stab at what many command blockers have done in the past, a playable piano, and executes it to near perfection. Let's take a look. So, after the traditional quote-unquote one-command intro, we get down to business. Something he mentions at the beginning is that you can have more than one piano in a world. Now, that seems like a throwaway feature to most people, but speaking from experience, that actually can be quite a difficult thing to implement due to the number of armor stands that need to be tracked at once. And the piano itself is gorgeous. I mean, really a masterpiece of armor stands. I mean, this is the Red Engineer we're talking about. A nice feature of the video is he actually shows what the piano looks like in lots of different texture packs. That's something I hadn't seen before, and I really appreciated it. So, yes, this piano is actually playable. He probably should have turned the background music off instead of just turning it down when playing on the piano, but still. It's a quick demonstration, but it's so cool how precise he gets with the rotation detection. You can hit each individual key very precisely. I'm actually not entirely sure what method he decided to use to detect which key is being pressed, but it's extremely impressive nonetheless. If you've ever worked with rotation values before, you know that the target selectors only allow integers, so it can be hard to get precise with this sort of thing because you can't use decimals, as demonstrated by many of the other gems today. There's actually another video Red made using this concept that is one of my favorite Minecraft videos ever, and it's in 360 degrees 4K, but that's for another episode. Anyway, really neat stuff. In the final video for today, Wubby Concepts once again takes the stage with what was, at the time, an absolutely revolutionary video showing how armor stands could be controlled as mini robots. So 6 days before this video was released, DocM77 released a video, a collaboration with Wubby, showcasing what he called a mini-me, or an armor stand robot. Up until this point, armor stands weren't really being used in this way by map makers before. And, I mean, obviously I can't speak for everyone, but Doc's video was really the spark that the community needed to make the armor stand NPC revolution truly explode. Back when I saw that video, it absolutely blew my mind, and now we all think of it as a pretty standard use for armor stands in maps. For many of us, it's our first go-to strategy for posable NPCs. But that's not what this video I'm showcasing is. This video is a follow-up on that original creation, this time starring just Wubby and the quote-unquote mini-me's. It's basically an upgraded version of the original with some new features and improved mechanics. I mentioned my mind being blown when I saw the first video, but this video absolutely blew the old video out of the water. I mean, in my opinion, this was the beginning of the NPC armor stand revolution, which is why it's today's pick of the bunch. Let's take a look.
Hello again! Today I want to show you the Armor Stand Robot version 2.0. More specific, I want to show you the features, so what it can do, and how to operate the command blocks to play with this yourself. The bot stands on a redstone lamp, he will wait until you activate it. Also, repeaters can turn him, set him into new directions, like before, only this time the repeaters will stay. Also, you can see here the animations are now smooth, thanks to entity data. Like before, he can mine blocks and kill entities, but we have a larger variety of things he can do with it. For example, he will ignore the items on the ground, and it's easy to program him to, for example, ignore the wooden pressure plates, so we can use them in our...
I actually still can't get over how cool this is, even though it's no longer like a brand new concept. The number of behaviors this thing has is amazing. It reacts to the environment in so many different ways that make these so versatile and useful in so many different contraptions and maps. And they're also just really fun to play with. Wubby actually made a separate in-depth tutorial where he really explains all the mechanics quite brilliantly. And the redstone happens to be nicely organized as well, which is always a plus. Now, I can't speak for the entire community, but from my observations, I truly believe that this video was the beginning of a revolution for map makers and command creators. And I know you're tired of hearing me say that, but I mean, you see this concept everywhere. You see it in countless maps of all genres, custom boss fights, one-command creations. I mean, it's unbelievable how far the mechanics used in this creation have spread and how lasting their effect has been. In fact, if it wasn't for this video, the map that Dragon014 and I are making, Wesley, would probably not exist in the capacity it does today. So, thank you, Wubby, and wonderful work. So unfortunately, that is all I have time for today. Make sure to go and watch the full versions of the videos I featured, all linked in the description. Of course, all of the entries for today's batch are really good videos, and if you have a chance, you should try to check them out. But if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, a comment, share it with your friends, or better yet, hit that subscribe button, or even better, subscribe to someone I featured today. Make sure to check out the jam-packed description for way more science. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.